Welcome back to the Bangers for Customs channel. Today we're working on a derby car, LS swap, but before we do any of that, I need a water. Chris, throw me a water. Nice, dude. Alright guys, this is what we're working with. Just kind of a quick overview so we can start working. This is all fuel system stuff. Everything's Evil Energy. It is a demo car. The motor itself has a ton of ICT billet in it. It's got a BTR top end, bunch of nice parts. The owner of this car did the motor right. We're just trying to get it running. It is, like I said, it's a race car. It doesn't have to be super fancy. We got a nice regulator, full fuel system. This is all electrical stuff, fuse box, all that kind of stuff. So the headers do fit. We're going to flip them like that right out the hood. For now, we're going to start with the fuel system and then get the tank mounted so we can start running lines, get all that connected, and then we'll move on to wiring, see if we can get this thing to pop off, make some noise. So as you can see, we got just a normal fuel cell. We're going to mount right here. I have a rubber block holding the fuel tank up. What we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 chunks of pipe for the front and 2 off the back, off the roll bar, and we're going to weld bolts in them and just kind of make a solid so you can rock it in and tighten it down. You know what I mean? We're going to start by doing that first, I think, get the stake mounted and start running lines. So I just whipped these little bad boys up. I got to clean them up with a grinder, but basically it's just a tube, washer welded to a bolt, and after we're going to die down that one. Some little nuggets off, but it's just a washer, bolt in it, welded. We're going to grind these up, clean them nice. These 2 are for the front. They go straight up like that. And then that one's still hot. Oh, that one's a little warm, but these are notched for the cage. So these will go on the back side straight up and down like this. And then now we have threaded studs to mount the tank on. So scratch that. We're not going to do the fuel system, I guess, now either. Because apparently, somehow all those fittings are not here. I could have swore they were in the car. The little push lock, it goes on the fuel rail. All the 6AM fittings, I don't have any of them. I mean, obviously the regulator came with some, but I don't have any of the male or female ends to go on the line. Got a bunch of line, no fittings. So we're gonna keep digging around, see if we can find them. I don't think that they're here. So on to wiring, I guess. Start mounting the fuse box and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get after it. So we got this in, and now we can test fit all the gauges. Booyah, just like that. And this bad boy will go here. Relax built it in. We got full motion of all the switches. or I guess where you would be belted in. You're gonna move the seat just a little bit forward. He's very similar size to me, so I think I can kind of base it off of my height and where I feel it's comfortable, and he should be pretty close. So yeah, got all those set up. I screwed that up already. So the hole for the actual switch is a lot smaller, and I was looking at the wrong part of the switch. So that's not a big deal. We'll get a washer for the backside and then cinch that sucker up. That'll take care of that. And then we'll have battery shut off and all the on and off switches. I'm gonna have to probably find somewhere in here to put a momentary push button for the starter, but we'll get to that once we start wiring. So all right guys, it's the next day. We got the dash kind of mocked up in there. Today I think I'm going to try to get the seat at least where I want it. The seat that's in here is too tall, and it's not going to work. We need a containment seat. So I pulled the seat out of storage. This is the old seat out of Madam Misfire. This is the one that came out of the black car. I have the harness and everything still there. It'll be fine for a demo car. It just doesn't pass tech. That's the only reason that it's not in the car. So nice aluminum seat, a couple brackets. So we got to pull this seat out and then get that sucker in there. We can start mounting the harness and everything. I'm waiting on a bunch of parts for fuel system and everything else. So we're kind of just trying to get progress where we can while we wait. So let's get to it. Well, we're running into issues left and right. So, I don't have enough good hardware for the seat. So, moving on from that, too. Just making a list of everything we need to get. So, yeah, right now, kind of playing with where the battery box is going to go. I think I figured it out. So, yeah, let's take a look. So, this bracket is the back of the battery tray. This kind of just goes like that, and that thing bolts to it. So at first we were going to mount it up here kind of high. We were thinking something around the lines of right here, but the problem is I don't want you to see the top of the battery from the stands. So what we're going to do is going to go down here. We're going to weld that sucker in there, and then we'll bolt the actual tray itself to this bracket, so the tray will still be removable. So yeah, let's burn this in and hope for the best. All right, guys, we got this sucker burned in. Bolts are kind of hand tight right now, but this, like that, moves around a little bit. We might have to put a stiffener on that or something, just to kind of help strengthen that other side. This car is going to bounce around quite a bit, so yeah, we might have to add just a little bit of reinforcement on that side, just kind of help it from just jiggling. I don't want it to break welds. I don't think it will, but like I said, this thing's going to be bouncing like crazy, so I have to make sure that sucker's tight. But what we can do is, yeah, we'll figure something out. Add a little more rigidity to that. But for now, we have an actual spot to mount the battery, so that's cool. Yeah. Now we're gonna move on to other stuff, I guess. I don't really know. So, since we're missing halo parts and other stuff, I'm gonna try to make it look cool. Put the headers on it, I guess. 'Cause why not? So, let's throw the headers on and then kind of get an idea of what we're gonna do for exhaust, where we're gonna point it, that stuff. So, I don't know. Let's try and make progress, I guess. All right, these are block hugger headers from the Jungle website, and we're not going to use them the way they're supposed to be used. We're going to run them backwards. So, because this is a derby car, we want these mugs pointed straight out the hood. Oh, does that not fit? No way. Ruh-roh. Wouldn't that be crazy? It doesn't fit. Well, this is what you get for cheap parts. The bolts don't fit through the holes.
Just drill them out.
It's just one. How does that work? That's fine. We'll drill it out. I just want to see if these are gonna fit. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna throw this sucker right in here. Something like, come on now. Did you just start for me? Come on, come on. Are these even the right size bolts? No, they're not. These are not the right size bolts. This project is just going really good right now. Come on. How about this one?
How about now?
All right, squirrel. No, these are not even close to the right size. Sick.
Straight
Well, scratch that also. I think I actually have a set over on the shelf. I think there's a set of exhaust manifold studs. Be right back. So we're going to scratch that idea too. I have a bag of threaded studs for exhaust manifolds. I just don't know where they're at. I can't seem to find them anywhere. So that's probably another thing we got to order is different header bolts because these are they're way too big. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But found a bag of bolts that are all grade 8 that were on headers for another project. So we're going to use those to mount the seat because why not? So actually these might be the right bolts. Let's try these out. So these are header bolts off of my truck, or the old 6-liter that was in my truck, and these thread in there. So we're gonna see if we can throw at least 2 in there. Gonna get an idea of what we're looking at, and then I'll have to order another set. And look at that, these actually fit through the manifold. Isn't that weird?
Let's look at that.
I don't know what bolts those are for. They're not even fit through these headers. I don't understand. Let's see if we can get these suckers to fit in here. Okay, so now these aren't even 3-inch, but we're gonna make them 3-inch. These old girls are gonna go here, like that. And do we got any 3-inch pipe up there? I think I do. I should have a bunch of 3-inch up there. If not, we got a truck to cut it out of out back. Are these too damn long too? This was not a good header kit, by the way.
Eh?
This is not a good header kit.
Twinkle tits.
You're at 90 right there. Actually, give me both, because I think this might be 2.5. But we're going to put 3" on it. Let me see. So this is a 2". Yeah, this is, yeah. So obviously,
straight to the cab.
Yeah, we're going to point it right at the driver. So we need some of these pipes about somewhere in here area. Something like that up here. I don't know. But that's good because the headers clear all the coil packs and they clear all the brackets. So we should be more than good on that. And we'll probably have to weld a bung in here for the O2s. I would bet. Because these don't have a bung for them anywhere. Which that's all right.
Put a hole in there for the spark plug to make some fire.
No, that would be cool actually, but now we're just gonna rock
Full tilt.
So we need to get a cardboard list going. What all we need,
Yeah.
because we're significantly down on parts and pieces. So cool. Well, that's nice. Get a couple of those. And then, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to mess with the other side. Let's try the other side because that's where the brake master is. I think that's gonna be the side that we're gonna fight. Okay, so already we're fighting brake lines. We're just gonna fan that one out of the way. All right, problem solved. Okay, now we're fighting that. Oh yeah. We got some clearance issues. But I think we can take the bolts out of that proportioning valve, slide it over a little bit. Yeah, because we're fighting. Let me get you in here so you can see. Show you exactly what we're fighting. If you look right there, you can see that this proportioning valve is contacting the pipe. Can't go down anymore. When the gasket just goes to the floor. So we're gonna probably take a bolt out of that, kick it over, and then we can. So that gives me a better idea of what we're gonna do with that. I just wanted to try to put that header on, so we kind of had a game plan of what we're gonna do with that. Luckily, it looks like it's gonna clear the the booster, everything else. So I think kick that proportioning valve over. I think we'll be sitting pretty good. So we'll just check that off for now. I'm not doing that right at this moment. We'll do that when we do the brakes. So guys, it's like a couple days later, I had another YouTuber come over and I put an exhaust in this car, so this kind of got sidelined for a minute. But all the stuff has arrived that we needed. Ordered a bunch of these AN fittings. We got some bungs for the O2 sensors. These are battery bulkheads that go through the firewall. I have them on my Nova, and I really like doing this. It makes it a lot cleaner, putting the wires through the firewall. Do that, push button start, that kind of stuff. A bunch of just miscellaneous. There's the header bolts I bought. A bunch of fittings and random stuff for the fuel pump. He gave me a Evil Energy fuel pump, but I'm not super thrilled with the way this mounts. I can't, the brackets don't fit the damn thing. So I have a Holley pump on the shelf, so I think we're gonna end up running a Holley pump. Just make it easy. Got my pickle water, actually pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, we're gonna start doing a fuel system now, I guess. Still don't have nuts for the tank mounts, but we're gonna make do with what we got. Got the tank kind of tacked in here right now. Just what I was talking about, 2 little legs. This one I'll have to mess with a little bit. It doesn't have as many threads, but it'll be all right. Just a little short right here. But yeah, we got those 2 in. And if I can show you on the back side, yeah, if you see there, we got 1 tacked there, one tack there off the roll bar. They're facing down. So basically it's got some this side and that side. So you can rock this thing and take it right out. We're going to start kind of mapping out where the fuel lines are going to go. Ideally, I bought enough fittings I can do 90s off the tank, go underneath. We're going to mount pump, filter, pump, filter. It'll go up to a bulkhead that I bought in a firewall, and then it'll go regulator, filter, fuel rail, and then it'll have the return coming. Then we'll have the return coming all the way back, right back in the, or section in the bottom. But I also got vent caps or vents for these, so we're going to build some vents for those. And yeah. As you can see, I made the line that feeds from the back of the tank. We're gonna have to kind of play with where this stuff's at and make sure the lines look good. I think I am gonna figure out a way to use this pump. Just because I forgot I used the Holly one in a truck out back, so I'd have to go pull it off. So we're gonna try to make this one work. Get the nice 90 off the back of the tank. That way, the reason I put it on the back is, especially in a demo car, when you stomp on it and you're bouncing around, you don't want the fuel sloshing in the tank, so it sucks air into the pump. So if you face it backwards, almost always it's going to put pressure on that line and keep it fed. That way we don't get any, you know, that kind of stuff with the pump. So we're gonna, I don't know. Honestly, I think I'm gonna use like a damn exhaust clamp. I have them on my Nova holding the fuel filters, and they work pretty good. So we'll space that off the floor, do that. Filter, one of the filters is under there, but I got to figure out where I want my fuel lines to come out up here. Because, ignore that. I'll show you what I'm talking about instead of trying to explain it. I'll do this with one hand. But these are bulkhead fittings. So this one unthreads, right? And what you do is you cut or drill a hole in the firewall, get that nut off. And then you feed this through and tighten it. That way you have a male end on both sides. So what this does is you can make one line from here up to the firewall and then a separate line from there, from the firewall to the engine. Now doing this, it's kind of just a personal thing for me. I think it's nicer when if you go to pull the engine out, you don't have to mess with those stupid quick disconnect fittings. You just take the two lines off the firewall and pull the motor out. So the entire fuel system stays there. Everything's secured. Easy to work on. You know, I'm trying to make it easy, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, so there's a quick look. Those are the bulkhead fittings. We got kind of down there on the bottom of the firewall. So now we got a male end there and two male ends in here. All right, we kind of got everything temped in here now. I got these little nice clamps. Oh, come on. These little clamps on the lines, holding it, spacing it. So we got all the way up to the bulkhead. Nice and even. These are still loose, so I have to hard mount them. But up underneath the tank, I gotta put some more clamps on. But yeah, this side of the fuel system basically is done besides just putting the brackets on and final mount and everything. I'll do a quick how-to making AN lines. I'm not the best line maker in the world by any means, but I can make them and they don't leak. So I'll show you how I do it. If anybody's curious, they're really easy to do. I use battery cable cutters to cut the hose. A lot of people cut them with a grinder or a hacksaw or something similar. I found that doing it this way, you don't get any of the little shavings or debris from cutting it inside the fuel lines. So nice clean cut. You don't have any fraying, a bunch of other weird shit you got to fight around with. So that makes it super quick, super easy. They're super cheap on Amazon, like 30 bucks. So if you're doing AN lines, get you a set because they work. Here we are. This is the bulkhead to filter line. You can see right there how nice that, if I can get it to focus. Come on, baby. There we go. See how nice that cut is? We got a little bit of fuzzy on this one, not super bad. But the biggest thing is you don't get a bunch of debris in there. I used to use a grinder and I'd have to blow these out with brake clean every time I made them. It was got really annoying and expensive with brake clean. So if you don't have one of these, they're just little AN holders. They go in a vise. Get them on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So we got a 90 on this end. We need a straight fitting here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this straight fitting, take it apart. We're going to set the male side off over there. And then what you're going to do is take your, what would be the B nut or whatever, that side, put that in the vise. You're going to take your hose, kind of give it a little bit of pressure, turn it counterclockwise. Now what's going to happen is it's going to kind of pull itself into the nut. And you're going to do this until it bottoms out. Come on, baby, focus. There we go. Until this line bottoms out on the inside of this barrel. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you're going to spin this until you feel it. You can kind of feel it get like right there. It starts getting a little bit tighter. Pull this out. I mean, it's a little crooked, but if you can see that. Come on. Inside here, there's a little shoulder right past these threads. What you want to see is that line butted up against it. What I do is I take it, and I do 2 turns counterclockwise. That pushes it back just a little bit, and that usually works for me. I'm sure there's better ways to do it. And then what I do, you put that sucker in a vise like that, and you're going to take your male end. I always use a little bit of Marvel. That kind of helps. You definitely want to lubricate it, but I found that Marvel works the best because it doesn't mess with your fuel system at all. And you're just going to coat this a little bit of Marvel. Stick that in there like that. Start it by hand. Try to get it down as far as you can. Come on, baby. I'm just going to kind of push it down as much as you can like that. And these are just, you know, Amazon special dealy bobs. You can use normal wrenches. You'll just screw up the finish a little bit. I mean, this still does anyways. Put some pressure on that too so you don't cross thread it on accident. Now basically you just run the sucker down. Just like that. You also want to check in here. This one's kind of nice because it squeezes the hose itself so it doesn't move. At least it does on my vise. Ooh. But you basically want to check that when you put this in here that it's not pushing the hose out the bottom, because that will happen and it will leak like a mofo if it does that. So we're going to hope that it didn't happen on these. It sounds like there's somebody in a V8 outside my door, so let's go outside and look. Okay, so right there is tight. So what I do is I make sure this, I give it a little, good to go. That, now you have your AN line, just like that. Do a little pull check, make sure it doesn't slip off. It shouldn't. So there we go. That's the next line in our system here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody that's sticking around, everybody that's following. Really actually do appreciate it. So yeah, I got some other stuff to do today, and I'd really like to get this video up since I've been lacking on posting for a while. So yeah, stay tuned. I got more videos of this coming. I got to get this car running here in the next couple weeks, so I'm going to be posting more hopefully on this car and other projects too. So yeah, like, subscribe, share, whatever. Thanks for watching.